Alternate views. I am Kemar Stuart. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, Sunday Sun, December 4th, 2022, Barbados has approached the IDB for another $200 million in loans. Minister of Finance Ryan Strong, who's heading this project, said in his letter to the IDB that the fourth component of the letter was aimed at economic and fiscal strengthening for after the pandemic. One of the most interesting measures listed for the justification of this loan is the use of a progress report of the measures put forward by the Jobs and Investment Council. As viewers can recall, the Jobs and Investment Council was put in place by Prime Minister Mia Mottley in April 2020. And the Jobs and Investment Council started with 8 committees with 8 chairmen of working groups to undertake a mandate of preparing a guide for the survival and transformation of Barbados, and a wide cross-section of persons was said to have been called upon to serve on these specific committees. The 8 chairmen of the working groups were former Prime Minister Owen Arthur, who chaired the Industrial Transformation Group, which is looking to create 20,000 jobs in 18 to 24 months. Professor Eugene Barreto, who chaired the working group on the services and creative economy, examining how we can train everyone to world-class standards. Derek Foster, who is chairing the retail and commerce group, which will undertake how we can guarantee food on everyone's table. Senator John Rogers, he chaired the group of securing food for every table, agriculture. Dodris Miller, he chaired the finance and insurance group, which will address how we invest in Barbados for the next 18 to 24 months. Tony Hoyes, who is chairing the housing and infrastructure group. And then we had the digital transformation group, who was headed by Dr. Annalie Babb. And we have the Trade and Logistics Group, which is headed by former Finance Minister Chris Sinclair. The Jobs and Investment Council met in April 2020, and according to Prime Minister Mia Mottley, the members were expected to report back to government within 2 to 4 weeks after April 2020, and this was dependent on their area of concentration. Some developments occurred within the operations of this committee or working groups as described by the Prime Minister. Since being established 2 years ago, former Prime Minister Owen Arthur has died. Former Finance Minister Chris Sinclair has been given a job overseas. So therefore, in a bid of transparency, the Prime Minister, who's also the Minister of Finance, should publish this progress report that Ryan Strong mentioned in his letter as the reason for committing Barbados to an additional $200 million in debt. This publication should also include who are the other members who sit on these working groups, with the pay and compensation published before the country proceeds to take that loan from the IDB. At no point in time did this Jobs and Investment Council report to the country of Barbados as to their findings. There were no consultations, no town hall meetings, no press conferences, no written or visual media or else. The public should also request an update from the Prime Minister and Finance Minister Ryan Strong on the Jobs and Investment Council before this loan is signed off. What's also a concern is the fact that the Prime Minister announced a plan to establish another council named the Fiscal Council when there's already the BERT Monitoring Committee in place. She said that the Fiscal Council is expected to have one representative from the international community and the rest could be sourced regionally or locally. The Prime Minister also promised the implementation of a public-private sector growth council soon established to monitor investment and growth targets under the BERT plan. These are much similar responsibilities to the Jobs and Investment Council. President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Anthony Branker, said last November 2022 that as a member of the Barbados Private Sector Association, they have not heard anything on the establishment of these working groups to date. The Chamber fully embraces the concept of what gets measured, gets done, and we look forward to the establishment of these working groups. The Prime Minister was present when Mr. Branker made these comments, so therefore Barbadians should ask what is the role of the social partnership, if 4 additional economic committees are needed, along with the current economic consultants and 2 ministers of finance. Should also ask the question, is the government wasting money in establishing the additional committees to tackle the economic issues that Barbados face? Thank you very much. My name is Kemar Stuart.